by Penguin.
And now for the good news, To the Future with Love, written and read by Ruby Wax. Introduction. You might be wondering how I can write about the future when no one knows or has ever known what it is. From the ancient soothsayers, probably reading pig entrails, to modern-day academic futurologists who know jack shit. When I say the future, I don't mean 50 or even 20 years from now. The future I'm talking about is your next breath. Even as I say this word, by the time I get to the end of the sentence, which I'm not at yet, that's the future. Okay, I'm at the end of the sentence, but now the future moved ahead again. You can never catch up with it. That's the only thing guaranteed. It's always in front somewhere. My story. So why am I writing about the future when nobody really knows what's going to happen next? I was hugely disappointed when it turned out my favorite show as a child, The Jetsons, based on what I thought was an accurate depiction of 2010, didn't pan out. Not one thing came true. No flying cars, no robotic maids, no nothing. So I'm very cynical about futurists saying they know anything. You know where it started? It started with those old Greek soothsayers reading out goat entrails. If they were legit, why didn't they know their empire was going to go kaput in a few years? And while I'm on it, why, these days, do people who claim to be psychics not clean up in Vegas? So I'm not claiming to know the future either, but I'm going to be honest with you. I decided to write on this topic because the most popular and best-selling books are about the future. And I don't mind being there either. Back to the future. Here's the thing. You can run, but you cannot hide. The future is going to happen whether we like it or not. But the trick is how we handle it. Most of us don't have the courage to investigate because we're frightened to imagine change. But we might as well cut ourselves some slack and be kind to ourselves. We need to accept that everything changes, or we'll end up as old bores harping on about how things used to be. We will become irrelevant, which is, alongside being unfriended on Facebook, the most frightening fate of them all. I'm aware that each of us has a different agenda. Some people are just worrying about where to find food for their next meal. Others are trying to cross the sea in a boat to freedom. It's only those who have the luxury of having enough to eat and know where they're sleeping tonight who can start to worry about the fact polar bears only have a few ice cubes to cling onto, or that dolphins are ending up in nets. Why the bad news? Why is there so much written about what's wrong with the world? I had to really hunt for positive sound bites, even though they should be on the front cover of every newspaper every day of the week, to replace the usual photo of a beautiful woman who is either at her film premiere or dead. Americans are addicted to the rage the guy that's president provokes. I won't speak his name because it will just make you angry, which is exactly why he's in power, because when we're in a fury for a long time, we begin to think like savages. He knows how to trigger this rage and then stoke it up until we're baying for the blood of some imagined enemy. I think the more we rant, the more powerful he becomes. Every joke a comedian makes about the tea person gets another vote in Arkansas because they hate these white liberals, and Mr. T promises to help these powerless poor people. Let us not forget that this is an old technique. The mustached Mr. H used it for stoking fear, and look what happened next. It's part of the human condition that we only wake up when things are frightening. See my last book. Fear is what captures our attention. You might not remember your kid's first words as clearly as you do 9/11. Those images of the collapsing towers are tattooed on our brains forever. We seem to be addicted to fear, getting high on that heart-clenching, teeth-grinding, high-octane rush of terror, and when it subsides, we unconsciously look for a higher hit. The trouble is that the fear starts inside of us, and like lighting a touch paper, spreads to everyone we know. Then people who were friends and neighbors.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?